Please subscribe the channel and don't forget to click the bell icon.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Botanica. So in the previous lecture we have studied the stomatal regulation, how the opening and the closing of the stomata occur, what are the different factors which are responsible for the opening and closing of the stomata. And by discussing that topic we have discussed a little bit that there is also a role of a cellulose microfibrils in the opening and closing of the stomata, and in other words we can say that it has a major role in opening of the stomata, and and that role of the cellulose microfibril can be attributed to the special arrangement of that cellulose microfibrils in the guard cells. And what is that specialized arrangement of microfibrils in the guard cells and how it functions to open the stomata, we are going to discuss it today. So deformation of the elliptic guard cells. So those guard cells which are elliptic in nature, which have thickened cell wall, inner and outer cell walls which are thin. So they during opening is due to the unique structural arrangement of the guard cells. So because of the that deformation which occurs in the guard cells, because of that deformation the stomata open. So that deformation is because of the different or unique or distinguished structural arrangement in the guard cells, and that different or unique structural arrangement is because of those cellulose. So in the normal cells, when we discuss in the normal cells are those cells other than the guard cells, all the other cells other than the guard cells. So they have bands of the cellulose microfibrils encircle the cell at a right angle to the long axis of the cell. So their arrangement is at the long axis. So they are present at right angle to the long axis of the cell. Normally the arrangement of cellulose microfibril is lengthwise. We can say that those microfibrils are present at the right angle to the long axis of the cell. But here studied with polarized light and electron microscopy have demonstrated that microfibrils in the guard cell walls are oriented in a radial fashion. So this particular arrangement in the radial fashion, it is a specialized type of arrangement which is present or which is observed only in the guard cells. So as far as the other cells are concerned, cells other than the guard cells, so they have a microfibril which are arranged at right angle to the long axis of the cell. But here, as far as the guard cells are concerned, they have the arrangement of microfibril in radial fashion. So what they give out the shape fanning out from the central region of the ventral wall. So what they give their shape, they are fanning out from the central region. So they look like they are going outward. So that's why we are calling it that they are fanning out. So or in other words, in very simple words, we can explain the arrangement of cellulose microfibril. We can attribute to the role, so that the radial orientation, the radial arrangement of those cellulose microfibrils in the cell walls, which is specialized to the guard cell, causes the guard cell to increase more in length than width when turgor increases. So as far as the opening of the stomata is concerned, okay, there is a role of a water, there is a role of a potassium ions in the opening of the stomata, but when there is a water in the guard cells, so now these cells will increase. So instead of increasing those guard cells into the lengthwise, what they do, they increase more in length than the width, and because of this differential increase in the length than the width, what it does, it results in the opening of the stomata. So since the two guard cells, as far as the two guard cells are concerned, we will see the diagram as well, they are tightly joined at their tips. So what, because of that radial arrangement, they bow outward when turgid, causing the stomatal pore to open. So as far as this last statement is concerned, it is clear, very much clear from these two diagrams. So as you can see, Here is the radial arrangement of these radially oriented cellulose microfibrils, and as you can see, these guard cells are they are joined very firmly, very tightly at their tips, here at the top, at the bottom as well. So as their tips are joined very tightly, so when they get water, when they are turgid, so because of the arrangement of the radial arrangement of these cellulose microfibrils, they bow outward. So their movement is outward, they increase more in length because of this differential arrangement. This pore is open, which we call the stomatal pore, and result in the opening of the stomata. And when they lose water, along with some other factors as well, these cellulose microfibrils also come into action, and they again attach these surfaces of the guard cell, and stomata will be closed. So here on the left there is another diagram which is also showing the role of microfibrils in guard cell movements. The orientation of microfibrils, which is the solid arrows. So as you can see, these solid arrows which you are seeing here, so this is the radial arrangement. These are the microfibrils which are arranged radially in the guard cells, in both the cells, here as well as in the up and the down as well. So elliptical guard cell allows expansion of the cells only in the direction shown by the dashed arrow. So because of the radial arrangement of these microfibrils, their movement is only in this direction, lengthwise, not widthwise. And when there is increase in the length, then the width, what will happen? And because of they are joined at their tips, so what will happen? There will be a pore in the middle of these two cells, which will result in this stomatal opening. So as far as the cellulose microfibrils are concerned, their role is not very much illustrated, explained in the books, but there is a role, there is a differential arrangement of the microfibrils in the guard cells, which result in the opening and the closing of the stomata, and we have to give weightage to it, that it has also something to do with the opening and the closing of the stomata. So now we are heading toward the last topic of the gaseous exchange, that is what are the stimulus, what are the causes which initiate the stomatal opening and the closing. So previously, in the previous lecture, we have studied that when the blue light is there, so it stimulates the opening of the stomata. But there is not only the light, there are some other factors which are also responsible for the opening and the closing of the stomata. And what are those factors, what are those stimuli? We are going to discuss it further. So in general, we have seen previously that when there is a light, when stomata are open during the day when there is a light, and they are closed at night when there is no light. In other words, they are open at when there is a plenty of light available, when there is a photosynthesis is occurring, and when there is no photosynthesis, when there is a dark, so the stomata are closed. So what they do, preventing the plant from losing water under conditions when photosynthesis cannot occur, because stomata are open to get the CO2 from the environment, and at the same time water is also lost through that stomata. So plant has to face these both. Plant has to balance these both the function. Plant also get gases from the environment, also get the CO2 from the environment, and it has also to face the loss of water as well. So as far as when there is a no gaseous exchange, when there is a no need of carbon dioxide from the environment, so what plant do? It closes the stomata so that water should be preserved in the plant and it should not be lost. So at least there are three cues or three stimuli, three factors which contribute to the stomatal opening when there is a dawn. So first of all, there is a light. The second is the CO2 depletion or less concentration of the carbon dioxide, and the third is the internal clock which is present in the plant and which is fixed in the plant according to the environment, according to the time. So these are the three major players which are responsible for the opening and the closing of the stomata. What is its mechanism? We have discussed it previously, but here we are discussing that what are the factors which will tell the plant or which will be responsible to initiate the opening or the closing of the stomata. How that opening occur, how they are closed, so that is the mechanism we have discussed previously. So first of all, there is a light. So as far as the light is concerned, we have discussed previously that light, the blue light, stimulates the guard cell to accumulate potassium ions and become turgid. So those blue light receptors are present in the membrane of the guard cells. So this response is triggered by the illumination of blue light receptors in the plasma membrane of the guard cell. So this light response is because of the photoreceptors, because of the pigment which are present in the cell membrane of the guard cells, and when they are exposed to the blue light, they get the blue light, they get activated, and they in turn activate the potassium ion pumps, and the potassium ion is accumulated in the guard cells. And because of the accumulation of the potassium ion, the water potential is decreased and water will enter into the cell and cell will become turgid and stomata will be open. So that is the role of light. So activation of these receptors stimulates the activity of proton pump in the plasma membrane of the guard cells, in turn promoting absorption of potassium ion. So this is the role of light. So we have discussed it previously as well, that what light do when light is there. So that those pigment absorb light, and by absorbing blue light they are activated and they in turn activate the proton pump, which excrete hydrogen ions from the guard cells, and in turn it accumulates the potassium ions along with the chloride ions and other organic acid as well, which will result in the movement of water into the guard cell, and in turn it will the stomata will be open. So first of all we have the light. Second factor is the CO2. Stomata also open in response to the depletion of CO2 within the leaves air spaces as a result of photosynthesis. So when their photosynthesis is occurring at a rapid pace, at a high speed, so what will happen? The CO2 will be used rapidly. So because of that rapid utilization of carbon dioxide which is present in the air spaces of the leaves, so what will happen? There will be a depletion of the CO2. When there is a less amount of CO2 in the air spaces of the cell, so it is also a cue, it is also a stimuli which stimulate the opening of the stomata. A CO2 concentration decreases during the day because during the day when there is a light, photosynthesis is occurring at the rapid pace and CO2 is utilized, so that's why CO2 concentration in the air spaces is very low during the day. The stomata progressively open if sufficient water is supplied to the leaf. So if there is a less concentration of CO2, so the stomata will be open, but it is also considered that the water quantity is sufficient for the plant, because if the stomata are open, the water will also be lost through the stomata, and if there is no water, it will also affect the process of photosynthesis. So plant will balance these two things, transpiration and the gases exchange as well. And the third and the last clue which is also there, and it is also responsible for the opening and the closing of the stomata, that is the internal clock which is fixed in the plant. That the internal clock which is fixed in humans as well, that if we have for example we sleep at night on 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. so our brain has fixed that time for the sleep. So for if at the night at 9 or 10 p.m. we are there in a light, and when there is a light, when there is no darkness, but our mind will initiate or it will secrete hormones which will result in the sleeping. So what it is, that is the internal clock. So our brain fixes the time that at which time we are going to bed. So that is the internal clock which is also responsible here in the plants as well, which we call the circadian rhythms. The third cue, that is the internal clock in the guard cell, ensures that stomata continue their daily rhythm of opening and the closing. So internal clock means, so they have a routine. So like we humans, we have a routine that when we get from sleep at the 4:30 or 4:45 a.m. and after that we do Fajr namaz, and after we have a complete routine, so and we have to follow that routine. And similar is the case here with the leaves as well, that they have a routine that they have to open and close, and it is fixed in the their clock as well. But it has a very less evidence that it has to, because for the stomatal opening there are other factors as well which should also be considered. The rhythm occurs even if a plant is kept in a dark location. So as this is fixed sometime in the plant, so if it is placed in the dark location, so when the time comes, for example the light is there at 7:30 or 7 a.m. so stomata will open at 7 a.m. when however if it is placed in the dark as well. So all eukaryotic organisms have internal clock that regulate the cyclic process, and it has also to do with the humans as well, and that cycle with the intervals of approximately 24 hours, and that cycle is called the circadian rhythms. So environmental stresses such as the drought, high temperature and wind, which are all the stresses which will affect the plant. Drought is the scarcity of water, deficiency of water for the absorption. High temperature and wind are also the stress. So they can also cause the stomata to close during the daytime. Even there is a light and there is a CO2 depletion, but these stress components, and if there is a low water quantity, temperature is very high, or there is a very high wind, so what will happen? The stomata will be closed, and when the plant has water deficiency, guard cell may lose turgor and close the stomata. And when it occurs, in addition, a hormone is also responsible, which is the abscisic acid, which is produced in the roots and leaves in response to water deficiency, signals guard cells to close the stomata. So it is not the case that whenever there is a light, the stomata will be open and the gases exchange will occur. It depends upon the conditions, environmental condition. If environmental conditions are harsh, there is a less water quantity available for the plant, there is a very low water table, or water is not available, or water is available in a very low amount, so what will do? The plant will close the stomata. Instead of opening it for the photosynthesis, the stomata will be closed according to the environmental condition. So this response reduces wilting. So because of the closing of the stomata, the wilting response is decreased, but it also eventually results in the CO2 depletion in the cells, and if there is no CO2 fixation, there will be no food for the cells, and thereby it will slow the photosynthesis. So since turgor is necessary for cell elongation, growth ceases throughout the plant. So as for the cell elongation, turgor in the cell, it is very necessary, and when there is a low water quantity, less water available for the plant, there will be a less turgor will be lost, and there will be no cell elongation, and it results in the growth stop or inhibition of the growth. And these are the some reasons why when there is a drought, crop yield is decreased. How crop yield is decreased? Because when there is a low water, there is a drought, the stomata will be closed, and water will be there will be no turgor in the cells, and as turgor is necessary for the cell elongation, so their growth will be inhibited, and because of that growth inhibition, the crop yield will also be decreased. So in other words, we can say that the drought and the stomatal closure is also responsible for the low crop yield.